Hello, it's going to be a no-cam stream today because I want to do something a little different. Getting a little weary of Conan. It's no cam for this because this is a scrolling shooter and there's really no good place to put the camera, if I'm going to be honest. But welcome back to my stream if anyone's coming back. Got my iced coffee here, delicious. This is Jets and Guns Gold, which is a this is a game that's about 15 years old. It's a scrolling shooter from early 2000s, and this is the version available on Steam that's been available as of 2014 or so. After they got it through Greenlight, it's a nice little value for $7. Warning: the music's going to kick in as soon as I unpause this. Yeah, so I hope the audio is adequate. I found this game to be a little loud, so I turned the volume down a notch, but it's still pretty funky. Also, in case anybody somehow missed the stream title, this game definitely needs a warning for like there's a lot of flashing lights and strobes and explosions, and there's a lot of screen shake and shaky cam stuff going on, a lot of particle effects. So anyone who has like photosensitive epilepsy or migraines or anything that this could be a problem for, I wanted to make sure that I gave adequate warning of that. So I know like it can range from annoying to a serious health emergency if somebody has a bad experience with it. So just want to warn everyone, now would be a good time to dip out of the stream if you're not into that, or if you shouldn't be watching the the flashing and blinking for medical reasons or whatnot. This is a very fun scrolling shooter from it's kind of a throwback to the classics. I really appreciate it. It reminds me a little bit of Raptor and Stargunner, which were, like Apogee classics from back when this type of game was still a common thing. Lots of options for the player profile here. I'm starting a new one on hard. I've played this so many times that, the easier difficulties are really not much of a thrill anymore. So I'm trying to do a full playthrough tonight, new game, hard, and I have a rule for, more of a personal rule in that I do not equip more than one of the same weapon, one for each gun. Because there are definitely, they did a rebalance on the game, but there's still some things that I feel are a little unchallenging and a little unbalanced. If you can, there's a lot of weapons that are fine if you equip one of them, but if you start putting the same weapon in every slot, you can kind of overwhelm certain aspects of the game, and I feel that's kind of unsatisfying. Also, I like the variety more, so that's my personal rule. Is just no more than one of each weapon. And if I get to the ship where I can unlock the double missile slots, I put a different missile in each slot if I'm going to fill both of them. So anyway, those are going to see if I can get through the whole thing in one run. The game, I looked up a YouTube playthrough of this, and it was 4 segments of an hour each. So in theory, I should be able to blow through this in 4 hours. You let me know how I'm doing. We'll see how it goes. Okay, well, away we go. Let's get started. Life of a space mercenary is not an easy one. He takes lousy jobs from lousy clients just to make a few bucks for the next batch of nukes and lasers to equip his rusty vessel with. Still better than scrubbing vomit from the floor of some space station, I think. Hopefully the next job wouldn't be such a pain in the ass like that eradication of the poodle planet. You have a few bucks at the beginning, so upgrade before the first fight. Click the tabs in the upper right corner to buy new weapons, bombs, or missiles. Put the guns into your ship's slots to equip them. Select a weapon to get its info page. Click on plus on the picture to upgrade it. So there's basic, story drops and hints between some of the missions here, so it's very nice. This one I think was only added for the gold editions. they added extra levels, extra content. You know, they dressed the game up a little bit as far as like story and so on. Okay, here we are. This is the shop screen, and start with this basic machine gun. I think I'm going to swap this out, because I have a build that generally works better than this. If I get rid of this, I can get the fountain and the fontaine and the auto track minigun, and I think I can put one upgrade each on these. Boop. Boop. And I can still have a little left over to buy the Carnage TV transmission set. What this does is that whenever you hit the ground troopers or the jetpack troopers, it keeps a body count that gives you a bonus, and if you get a multi-kill of several with one hit or in a short period of time, you get combo bonuses, and your score is credits, and that's your budget to buy equipment for the rest of the game. So that's why that's important. Alright. So I'm going to buy that. That leaves me with 0. And I'm going to save my game because just in case something goes wrong and I have to, like, say something crashes and I have to pick up where I left off, but I'm mostly going to continue. This is not going to be a no-deaths run. I'm going to have to continue from checkpoints and so on. So I'm not good enough to do a no-death run of this, but, you know, I definitely should be able to plow through it in a few hours. Alright, let's get going. Got a transmission. Some eco-fascist is offering a dirty job he doesn't want to muck his own hands with. What the heck? Money don't stink. A hitman, you were hired by our sacred organization to clean the sector of the chemical danger that appeared here a few months ago. A gang of damned mutants called the Chemical Brothers started a new colony in the sector. They make their living by running an illegal business with toxic waste. Your mission is to persuade them to leave. Crush their colony. Mission objective, destroy 50 habitation cells of the gang's colony. Game tip, don't forget that you get money for any target, so destroy as much as you can. Well, obviously. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I got the fountain, which is like sort of a side shot, and the auto track minigun, which, you know, is a minigun that automatically tracks targets. My hull integrity and weapon gear down all those little gauges in the lower left. I know this is 4:3 aspect ratio. I'm definitely sorry that the game is kind of vertically letterboxed right now. But there's not much I can do about that as far as like the resolutions that are good to stream with. Like cargo. I know I can get 2 of the secrets. I think going for the 3rd one will get me killed because that one's a pain in the butt. Let's see if I can clear this out. That probably wasn't worth missing all those targets, but I want to at least make an effort to get secrets where they're available. I think we're keeping up here. This is where the jetpack troopers are. These guys would be a problem if I didn't have the auto track, but that took them out pretty fast. Down to about half integrity. I need to get help. Playing a little too aggressively here for my own check. I am definitely racking up a lot of targets though. Space Hitchhiker, because, you know, everything needs Hitchhiker's Guide references. Galactic Hitchhiker. I loved those novels back when I was around like high school or college. I still do, honestly. Go back and read those sometimes. Really good science fiction satire. Plays with a lot of like classic sci-fi tropes. Douglas Adams was taken from us too soon. Alright. don't have that many cells, but this is where you run into trouble if you're not almost done, because these guys come out to play, and those are really a little above my. I think that's the secret's right here if you want to survive that long to get it. Okay, let's see what I got. Not my best score ever, but it's nice. When does the best pilot of the Galactic Army become a freelance hitman? Easy, when the war is over. You follow orders, catch supervillains, annihilate planets, and suddenly you're a surplus item in the Army's inventory. And the next thing is that you fly between the worst pubs in the quadrant and tangle with the scum you were helping to waste before. You're going to fly your first air-to-ground mission, buy some bombs, upgrade your shipping, upgrading its devices. Your devices the same way you improve weapons. Try the weapon testing range. Click T button or hide the menu by pressing escape. Alright, let's get going. Now don't miss this thing after the first mission, because they give you kind of a cash bonus for the first one. This is a record that proof you completed the mission. For some reason the rest of the missions do not do this. But you can hold left control and left click this thing. That's how you just auto sell stuff in your inventory. These are the little rubber duckies they used to mark secrets. Another one. Got 2 out of 3, not bad. And now I can afford some upgrades. Bounty, it's too early for Bounty Hunter license. This ties up 100k of your money. In my opinion, it's too early, at least the build I'm planning to go with. It's really, it's just too early right now, because that ties up 100k that you can put into making your guns higher DPS, and it really impairs your survivability in a lot of places. Some stuff like mission meter would be nice. Let me check out the bombs, see what bombs they have available. I could actually get through this without bombs, technically, but I don't get to use these often enough. Going to buy the Atari-X, whatever. The Atari-X is a small but handy computer able to unlock secure cargo containers. Valuable goods are often hidden in well-locked boxes. This device can open it without the risk of damaging the contents. Now this... buy it. What this does is you get a mini-game that instead of just selling the cargo container sight unseen like an abandoned storage locker, you can either auto-crack it with a pitiful chance right now, or manual crack it. You need to guess a 4-digit password. And this is kind of like the Fallout 3 password minigame. It'll show you how close you're getting. So, I'm going to start with... Okay, so 2, 3, and 4 aren't in the code at all. 1 is in the code, yellow dot, but it's in the wrong position. So, one of these is 1. 7, 8. 8 is in the code, but in the wrong position. Let me see. I'm just gonna try. 9, 8, 1, 0. Okay, 1 and 0 are in position, and these 9 and 8 are in the wrong positions, means I just have to swap them. 8, 9, 1, 0. Get, I think, 6 chances to guess it. But you should, if you're applying logic properly, you should never gain 6 chances. Correct. Brakes, a huge, endless heap of brakes. 850 those. Yes, because it's Brake and Grass Games is the name of the company. Sell that. See, these ordinarily only sell for 500, so I got a little more by doing that. And now, if I want to auto-crack things, the chance has gone up. I don't auto-crack until it gets to 100. So basically, if you play this minigame 9 times, like, because it starts at 10% and gains 10% each time, and you have 100%, you never have to really do the number guessing again per playthrough. Oof. I really need to find out what that other number is. I'm kind of screwing up here. Kind of really thread the needle on missing them. It's 0. Got it. Now this gives me a hint guide that just tells you where one of the secret weapons in the game is. Secret weapon tomato deluxe in Machina Prime. Find a Zeppelin which could be opened with Remcon. Oh yeah, the Remcon, that's another thing I should pick up at some point. I don't need it right this second though. I can probably squeak by without it. I think I might rather upgrade this thing because this thing's a real workhorse in the early game when you first get it unlocked, because it'll take out a lot of things before you even see them. Alright, that's as far as I'm going to be able to upgrade that right now. I have the Aderix, no bounty hunter license today, got this already. Mission meter, boss detector, Remcon. Yeah, I don't need the boss detector yet, maybe, but the Remcon would be nice. I don't know. This honestly kind of starts losing efficiency beyond a certain point here. You know, this is a cute toy. If you upgrade it, it makes a pretty good stream, but it's, I might actually swap this back out and get the Daisy Cutter back. This is the thing I would have had in the first mission if I hadn't juggled stuff around. I like the mission meter is really just quality of life improvement. It just shows you what percentage of the level you've scrolled through. So it's good if you're trying to memorize where secrets are. It's good that you know that oh, this secret is around the 60% point or whatever, or 80% point, and you can memorize that for next time. So it's a handy thing to have, or to warn you particularly difficult ambushes. Because stuff does hit you from every side in this game. Stuff doesn't just come from the front, it also, you get from the top, bottom, and the other side of the screen. And it gets difficult very quickly if you're not paying attention. You can't just loiter the edges of the screen. It's not safe to just stay there because you can get rammed. And very often waves will try to, are sort of trying to force you in the direction of the next wave, so you need to be very cautious when dodging, not to go exactly where they want you to go. Have you ever been hired by a sheriff looking like a chimp? Well, I have. Howdy, gunman. We could use your skill and hardware if you want to make a fair profit. I'm Sheriff Livingstone of the police department in this sector. We are short of men, and we need to wipe out smugglers on a couple of small planets and asteroids around here. We're hiring capable men like you. Each one will lead a strike on one of the criminals' bases. Profit from wrecked ships and confiscated cargo is yours. What do you say? Damage large yellow transporters and green bombers to stop their fire. They'll become much less dangerous. Troopers and paratroopers can be wasted by flying through them. Their bodies give no damage. Don't waste your time evading every enemy bullet. Your armor can take some damage. Alright, let's get going. Yeah, the Fontaine was nice on the first level, but I'd rather just have a direct, nose gun right now, because, there's, it's kind of like the Fontaine kind of leaves a gap where something's, screaming towards you. You can get rammed before you're able to stop it. These old helicopters are going to be dropping in here all level. Alright. I'm not doing too bad so far. Oh, and that's my, the baker, this, with that bomb skull. It's like my little napalm dropper. Love the smell of napalm in the morning. Can I hit him with, no, that doesn't rocket. Some of the barrels, if you shoot them, they turn into little rockets. See if I can damage this guy after taking him out. It's a little bit of a tough nut to crack in this part. Alright, I got him. Again, that auto tracker is really paying for itself. I might swap out for the Wanderlust later. You can switch, you can upgrade to an entirely different ship, which will have more slots, more different gadget options. So thinking of hopping up on here. Great. Another one of these. Goodbye. I could hack those with the Remcon, like you can... That particular model of missile launcher, you can hack it with the Remcon and make it self-destruct. It's like a hacking device that like it sprays a beam, like sort of a Wi-Fi beam at the ground that hacks enemy devices. Like certain devices are outlined in yellow brackets when you have that device, and it can be a handy shortcut to, you know, you can buff some enemies or get rid or neutralize them outright with it. So it's a really nice thing to have. Tough to take down. Okay. Lucky I kind of hosed it before it got a chance. There's a secret down there I'm missing. I'm trying not to take too much. Collision damage is a thing in this, so I'm trying not to take too much of that. I really wanted to bomb that thing before it launched, but not. Bombing aerial targets always fun. Nice flex on these guys. I hate these guys because they do so much damage. Go away. Stop. Oof. It's like those floating, like, 6-shooters are really the worst in this level. You know, this is an interesting case of subjective difficulty, because I know there's a lot of things that I hear people tell me all the time are easy and I just can't do. Like, I struggled with a lot of things in Dead by Daylight, I struggled with a lot of things in Conan Exiles. Uh-oh. There's a bad situation. No. See, they can only turn so fast. If I can slip behind them, I can probably get away. But you know, there are things people tell me in those games are easy that I find hard. But then, you know, there are a lot of people who seem to like, I see so many Steam reviews and stuff, they're like, this game is impossible. And I guess they've just either never played scrolling shooters before, or they just have a very low tolerance for the difficulty. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to... I'm not trying to make this into some stupid rant about filthy casuals, because, you know, everyone play how you want, you know, you play the way that makes you happy, you know, there's no sense in judging people for that. But this stuff, I mean, I'm an arcade kid, you know, I'm like a child in the 80s, well, like, you know, born in the 70s, but I mean, I spent a lot of my youth in the 1980s in the arcades, and I'm used to this type of, oh, crying out loud. I'm glad I'm at a checkpoint. I shot one of those little rocket barrels, and I rocketed it straight into myself. Like a complete idiot. I apologize for that. See, stuff like that, it does... The game will spank you for mistakes like that, so I mean, I can see what people... I can kind of see what people mean, but I mean, it's still so... I feel like the checkpoints and the saves are generous enough that... You know, you have lots of options of how you can approach problems. A lot of it is if you get stuck with... If you stick yourself with a build that just doesn't work, you're going to have a bad time. Good thing this wasn't a no deaths run anyway. I'm gonna let that guy go. It's not, I don't have the firepower to stop him from getting away. Gotta destroy these barriers. These are bad if you put old gimmick weapons on and have no forward firepower. That's when you really struggle with this death ball thing over here. I hope that main pop gets that guy because, okay, it seems like it did. Because otherwise that would be doo-doo. That's an easy trick you can do there is open the, and there's this caged monster over here I can let out of this cage. And now he's gonna go stomp those guys. Even if the bombs weren't gonna get them, this guy will. I got the multi-kill with the Carnage cam, so that gives me a little bonus for blowing away a bunch of those little dudes at once. Alright, I think the missile launcher is not getting... Yeah, it's not going to get to launch. There we go. Oh, I shouldn't have wasted a bomb. I remember what's coming. So it's little horrible vehicles. Okay, I got him. Yeah, that shoots a very high damage rocket and is very good at tracking it back and forth. Where are these guys? Eat it. Can I? Yes, I can. How about that? Drop some bombs into their formation. Crashing ships will also destroy some of the ground stuff for you. Like you shoot something down and it lands on something else and does damage. Go put some Snapcrackle Pop in the morning. There we go. Alright. These guys have no more tricks to surprise me with. Doing pretty good so far. I do not have the boss meter show me this guy's health bar, but it's not, with the loadout I have, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'm gonna spam that mortar at me. This bottom part spams a little homing fireball that just lazily chases you around and blocks your path. And the middle part is the one that does a lot of damage, that sprays a lot of missiles if you're in front of it. So, it's potentially dangerous. Also, these parts move slowly enough that they're not too hard to bomb. One down. I don't want to end up like directly above or below this guy, because sometimes he sweeps up and down, and then he'll yeah, like that, and he'll just ram you. And I don't want to get rammed. So cheesing them with the... One of the nice things about the auto track or having a ship that has a rear gun slot is that you can cheese certain bosses like this. You're not completely safe from them, but it makes it a little easier to maneuver because you don't have to loiter in front of their forward firepower. And that's taken care of. GG. Galactopedia, United Space Hero Force. The Black Eagle in the Fist, symbol of peace, order, and annihilation. USHF is a special military unit created for the protection of the galaxy and its sinister inhabitants from destruction. The main object of the members is to monitor, track down, and neutralize any subjects with the intention to take over or destroy the universe. Federal Heroes, special agents with a so-called Federal Hero license, are extraordinarily capable men, women, and slime, competent for the protection of the civilization and hunting all supervillains in the galaxy. This agency is the final line of defense against evil in the universe. Edit. Federal heroes are recruited by the hardest, meanest, and the most aberrant marauders, bounty hunters, and privateers that have ever flown the outer space. You can quickly sell or buy items by holding down control and clicking on them. You can get a stripe in metal when you're decorated. The stripe is permanent. The metal can be sold. There's no other use for them. Alright. More cargo containers. There's a 3 in there somewhere. A 3, a 7, and an 8. Swap them. Alright, another hint guide. Volume 6. Secret weapon Kraken 2000 Harpooner can be found in the bottom of the frozen ocean. Look for the sign of the trident. Force over there. 7864. Yes. This Sucks, 4 game pack by Digital Idiots. This is a compilation of 100 worst games of last year. TS packs are produced every year in massive amounts, but never last more than 12 hours on the shelves. Some secrets. Medals are... If you want to look at your medals, they're on your Federal Hero license. This is kind of like challenges you can fill out or unlock. It's funny that I'm missing 2 of the ground destroyer things because I'm destroying too many ground targets, that there's one you get for 50% of ground targets or more destroyed, 70% of ground targets destroyed, or 90%, over 90%, and you can only get 1 of them per level though. So I need to slow my roll if I want to get all of these. I might upgrade ships here. The Wonderwurst. This is hilarious. I love this thing. I'm going to sell the bombs because I can't equip them on this anyway. If you switch to a ship that doesn't have that slot, it just, or is missing some slots, just boops the stuff out of your inventory. I'm going to upgrade for 65k. Now the bombs are over here, and I may as well sell them because I won't be able to use them for a while. Nice thing about the equipment system in this game is that you sell stuff back, you don't... Usually, most games like this, they'll only give you some fraction of what you paid for it. This gives you back full price. You're supposed to be swapping stuff around constantly to meet the needs of the mission. I could get something other than this homing missile, but frankly, this homing missile is fucking amazing. It's one of the best weapons in the game, probably. And what else can I get? So I want to go with the Fontaine, the Pink Panther, or the... This is, like, stuff like the Fontaine, the Pulse Gun, the Scorpion. These are kind of like... Well, the Pulse Gun is just sort of the first energy-type weapon you get. It's not that great unless you have a lot of cooling to keep it going, and even then, like, after a couple of levels, you could probably get better ones. It doesn't do anything special, it's just one laser beam that just shoots straight ahead, like just little pew-pews. This is kind of interesting though. I'm going to move my auto track to the rear slot so I can put a radiator or radiator, depending on, I call it radiator here. This is kind of a spread gun. Like if it shoots up and like up at an angle and down at an angle, it's sort of like your side shot, your side attack gun. And if you upgrade it far enough, it shoots. It shoots up to 5 ways. You get like a little forward stream, and you get big streams going up and down, and a couple of smaller ones going toward the rear. So that can be very handy. The missile, I don't know. I don't want to sink too much into upgrading the missile yet. If I have stuff left over, I'm going to get that boss meter, I think. I might just leave the Daisy Cutter here for now, I don't know. Or could I could put Pink Panther in there. It's a good question. You know what, this one gun does get kind of boring after a little bit, so I'm going to try and go for Pink Panther instead. I think this, with the max upgrade, is a real killer, so I'm gonna go for that. Time compressor, I don't know if I feel like using this run. It's definitely helpful for a couple of boss areas, but basically it's sort of an unlimited slow motion. It's kind of awkward to use because everything's sort of, it's hard to describe, but like, for one thing, like it slows stuff down to the point that the game is moving like a glacier. And on top of that, I don't have a keybind on my mouse for this. And, you know, the movement kind of feels slippery at that point. It's really hard to describe. I can't afford any upgrade for any of these right now. Time compressor. Oh, I could have got the Remcon, but it's going to be useless at this level anyway. Well, so is the boss detector, actually. Wait a minute. I might have made some poor choices here. I think I'm just going to, I'm going to drop money on the time compressor anyway. Yeah, let me just pick up some upgrades while I'm here and while I remember, because I'll probably forget to buy them next match, and there's nothing else I can do with that. But this is definitely going to be saving my bacon a lot, so for a few levels to go. This is one of the stranger levels in the game. It's also one of the more difficult, and this is where they really give you a wake-up call, I think, if it's the one I'm thinking of. Hello, Mr. Hitman. I'm microbiologist Karen, and this is my colleague, mathematician Gabrielle. I'm afraid we need your assistance. We work in a laboratory on an artificial asteroid called VAMP 666. I must accent that all our scientists are females because of higher intellect and working efficiency. Men's presence is strictly prohibited. In spite of this commonly well-known rule, our nuclear plasmatic defense system must prevent thousands of penetration attempts to our station by masculine elements every year. Our girls are safe within the range of the asteroid's defense system, but we need to recruit new brains periodically, and the convoys with fresh women are subject to an intense pressure of hormonally unstable individuals. Also, it's like Twitch, basically. Anyway, and that's exactly why we need you. This year's convoy will depart within a few days, and we need a capable fighter to ensure their safe arrival. Game tips: you have to escort scientist ships. Don't worry, you can't shoot them or collide with them. Thankfully, they don't pull like you accidentally destroyed your escort bullshit on you for this, so. But yeah, this is a heck of a ride, so just let me know. These guys are the pain of my existence right now. Those little flying, like, helmets that look like the Boba Fett ship. See, the advantage of having this particular ship is that this is supposed to be like a food truck or something, so it has extra, since it's full of refrigerators, it has extra cooling for your weapons. Unfortunately, since it's a ground vehicle, or was originally, it doesn't have a bomb slot. So that's a slight disadvantage there. I'm not even reading the captions because I gotta concentrate on what I'm doing, but yeah, it's hilarious. These are great targets for bombs if you have any, but I don't. Okay. And this is where these guys come out. I can actually tell by that part in the music. It always reminds me that this is where that ambush happens. Oh, hitchhiker. Not doing great on health right now. I'm kind of a big, clumsy target, as you would expect, because this thing literally, like, it steers like a truck. So, fortunately, because of the weapon cooling, it also hits like one. Checkpoint. I know that there's a secret level bonus at some point. Yeah, this is going to be where we unlock the first secret level in the game. Take that. Jerks. Leave our women alone. Shit. I hate that attack. If you don't know what, or like rapidly react to one of them, see around 60% or so is when you gotta start looking for that thing. That little golden ball that unlocks the secret level. Alright, let my guns cool a little bit. I'm gonna have to lose a lot of guys in rapid succession here. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, don't feel so tough now, do you guys? Usually I screw this up at least a few times. I'm really obliterating here today. Gotta watch the missiles more than anything else. Some of these guys, they give up that one little zap on death that if you kill them when they're directly above or below you, you can get that little extra bit of damage from those. I dislike that, but it's an interesting mechanic. Makes you think about where you are when you're fighting them. Boom. I think that takes care of it. Yeah, these guys got nothing. The build is too strong. Yeah, we got a few zaps on me, but we're getting out of here. Not a bad haul. I was just leaving a chick's asteroid when I stepped on a really weird sign floating in the space. Spammer containment area? I called back the science babes to check whether I'm hallucinating or what. That is correct, Mr. Mercenary. We have an experimental anti-spam installation near your current position. It tracks down spammers on the hypernet and teleports them automatically to the containment area. It gathers some automatic advertisement devices as well. Please, do not touch anything. It's a very precious technology. No worries, lady. I'll just have to pay a visit to our ad, guys. I have to see this. Yeah. Also, if you haven't noticed from the some of the captions and stuff, this game was developed in Czech Republic, and I think English was not these guys' first language. Someone did a valiant. I think it's someone actually credited with quote valiant efforts to correct the English or something like that. But yeah, obviously it's a little stilted in places. And this is a bonus level where I get to do horrible things to spammers, which really, you know, isn't that... Don't we all dream of that sometimes? Before I forget, because I'm gonna need this, I think this is where I buy Remcon, or remote controller, is a special hacking tool. It's used to break security codes on automatic devices and take them under the control of the hacker. The target can be anything like robots, auto weapons, gates, etc. And I'm going to upgrade that to max so it does the hacking as quickly as possible. What should I throw more money into at this point? This is a little unbalanced if you upgrade it. The missiles aren't bad, but they're already... You know, if you upgrade this, this has a long way to go to upgrade. I'm going to be sinking money into that later. I mean, I could upgrade hull and engine. I usually do hull and engine last because having enough firepower to keep stuff away from you is usually better than being able to tank the damage. Or, you know, although engine kind of becomes important later so that you're not too slow to avoid certain ramming attacks or area attacks. You know, maneuverability does become a little important. for avoiding ambushes, but it's not super critical right now. Do I have any new guns unlocked? I do not. Not at the moment. I think that depends. I can never tell if that depends on score or level or both. I think it's mostly score, or like some of them only unlock at later loops. Like after you've completed the game a couple of times, or you're doing the New Game Plus. Although really the New Game Plus is kind of unbalanced because it's, you know, enemy health and stuff increases, but not really enough to give you a challenge for at least a few loops. They did a better job on that in Jets and Guns too. It's much better balancing job on in the sequel. That's a very different game in a lot of respects. I think for now, I'm not even that worried about the forward firepower, but I could throw an upgrade on this to get more spam coverage with it. Basically everything else right now. Alright, I think we're ready to go. This has a much beefier, the radiator has a much beefier firing pattern now. That is a secret tucked away. You can just barely see, like, 3 pixels of that rubber ducky sticking out from behind the sign. It's a very little secret. If this wasn't basically a bonus level with no serious threats, that would be super neat. One of the weaknesses you're going to notice about the homing weapons is that sometimes they target things that aren't targets. Like my homing missile and my auto-track minigun love to shoot at diesel rocket engines holding up this Mario platform here. And I think that's deliberate just as a kind of a nerf on the homing weapons so you don't abuse the hell out of them for everything. And as it is, they're still extremely OP in some circumstances. You know, it just makes them just situational enough that they're not completely overwhelming, in my opinion. Don't really get much cash for this. This is mostly for the entertainment. But I got the secret. Think back when suddenly a bolt came out of the blue. I received an urgent message from my former commander, Colonel Troubleman. Why did he remember an old soldier like me? This can't be good. Soldier, the situation is critical. The most dreadful space villain, Dictator Zox, entered the scene once again. His plans are clear. He's preparing nothing less than the total destruction of the universe. We had indications that Zox had been preparing to kidnap Professor von Hamburger for a long time, and the man has actually disappeared. A few days ago, the professor was working on a quantum cannon of a new generation. He's planning a peaceful exploitation of the invention, but who could assume a misuse of this gigantic cannon? This is Rector von Hamburger speaking. My father was kidnapped and I have no one else to appeal to. Space policemen are such dull morons. They're going to wait for weeks before they make the first tentative steps in their investigation. Please find my father and save him from a terrible death in the hands of that scum. You must return to active duty immediately. USHF and mankind need your skills once again. I'm counting on you. Yeah, good luck, we're all counting on you. That's how a lot of bad situations start. I think I remember this level, and then I don't care for it very much, but we'll see what happens. I think I can squeak through this with this ship. I can upgrade to the little, like, the cool space biplane a little later, but I think right now that's a bad choice because of the you know, it's a little fragile, and it's a little... I don't really... Like, after I've pumped all these weapons up to max, I think that's when I need to start looking at stuff like that. Because you don't want to just jump to the next ship until you're kind of pushing the limits of your existing ship, in my opinion. It's when you really need the extra weapon slots that you should start going for that, or if you need the extra gadgets capacity. Oh, I have done... by the way, this ship, I have done a Wanderwurst only run. I've done the entire game with this ship, and I might do that on another day, but we're not doing that today. Like, I literally did. It's possible to buy this at level 1 and just with, like, barely be able to arm the thing and somehow squeak by. It took me something like 25 attempts to pass the first level, but after that I actually did a relatively, surprisingly smooth run. But it's an interesting self-imposed challenge if you want to do that. It just sucks not having the bomb slot for the entire run because some of the bombs are pretty cool. Disgusting Space Fan is often used by fast food delivery boys, but it has some advantages for outer space combat too. Big plus is the Master's Refrigerator, helping to significantly improve heat sinking. The van has one big credence that it has more room for weapons than the G3 Goblins, but it's a pretty cumbersome flyer. Weapon slots 2 times front, 1 times rear, 1 times missiles. And they have some stats here. And this is the Goblin that I started with. You get this one you get for free. This is just like the, you know, this is your little, like, baby ship, basically. And the next one, this is a, you know, this is like sort of a triplane, like, looks like a kind of like Red Baron type thing, but that's not going to be for a few levels. Alright, let's go. The Colonel gave me the coordinates of his dreadnought I have to be embarked on. It's time to show my back to this scurvy sector. To do this with a small vessel of mine, I must reach the nearby hyperjump point. But nothing's for free, especially in this part of the universe controlled by the local mob. Never mind, it's always good to have a reason to leave a few more wrecks behind. Game tips: if you find the game too gory, you can turn the gore off in the game options. Bounty Hunter license is quite expensive, but it will pay for itself back quickly. You'll be able to detect wanted pirates, and when you destroy them, you'll get 5 times the score. Plow through this to get to the hyperspace jump to the next level. Definitely, so a lot of action is going to happen. Oh, no. Oh, why are you guys going to do this to me? That was a lot of my health. And I hate that too. That was carelessness. If I get down here, this is my own damn fault. See if I can damage this thing enough to... Some explosions give you this the cool slow motion wreckage there. Although, like I said, the slow motion effect of this, it does something... I can't put my finger on what, but it does something to the controls, like your momentum goes all wonky. I'm gonna use the Redcon to hack this thing if I really... Yeah, there's health in there. So that's one of the places where that's good to have. For one thing, those yellow brackets around that, like, if I crash into that, I think there's still a glitch in this that there's, like, an instant kill if you crash into the yellow bracket sometimes. So I avoid those like the plague once I've actually hacked them. Or before, you know, if I can avoid it. There's another hackable bracket. Gold. That's the finish. Boom. And take this guy out because he can't compress his guns lower than that. Another secret. Or jetpack dudes. You know, you can also ram the jetpack dudes or the ground troopers if you don't want to, you know, they just don't hit the ground, obviously. You can just run. Those guys you can run over with your vehicle, but you don't take no damage from them. So that's one way to deal with them if they're just too small for you to hit or your weapons are too awkward at the moment for whatever loadout you're using. Let that cool off. I'm pausing the guns now and then because this game does have a heat mechanic. You know, every gun generates a different amount of heat. Oh, see this? I skimped on the forward firepower and this is going to be a little tricky to get through. I gotta tunnel through this before I get squashed. See, that's what you shit. Well, yeah. See, that's the problem. I should have put a little more into the Pink Panther instead of some of the other guns. No biggie. We're not that far away. doing a checkpoint twice. Dodging a lot of bullets here. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. Alright, third time's the charm. See, this is the problem of putting too much into things like the auto-track weapons and the side weapons, because sometimes the auto-track weapon shoots everything except the one thing you're worried about, and sometimes the, like, you know, protecting yourself from the side ambushes, don't get me wrong, is a big deal in this game. You should get that a lot. But you also get hordes of guys just sort of bum rushing you from the front, too. And if you're not prepared for that, or don't dodge in time, you know, that can get a little tricky if you've got, like, sort of that blind spot in the front where they can just slip through your defenses. Alright, that's better. Making a little more progress here. Just need to be a little more careful. See, I don't mind that the game, like, you know, I don't mind that the game punishes you for doing dumb things. Because I know that sometimes I just do dumb things and that's why I die. Why did that brick break already? Okay. Please, please, do not smash into the fucking wall again. Thank you. I wanted that secret a little too bad. I hate leaving secrets behind. I think if it wasn't for that, I might have made it on the first shot. Another one of these jackasses. Take that. Oh, that hurt a little. More health. Good thing there's more health incoming because there's more damage incoming against these guys again. I hate those. So satisfying when you can get one of these out of the game. Alright, and I can slip through this part without taking too many lasers to the face. Alright. That was going to be the hard part, and that actually went well. Not too shabby. I got all 3 secrets now. So that wasn't a total waste to go chase those. I slowly approached the jump gate, expecting to hear the familiar sound of the charging device, but nothing. Someone turned off the juice. Come on, guys. I just trashed like hundreds of your mates down the tunnel. You know, you won't get any road toll from me. To the anesthetically crude vessel, your mob friends are not present here. They were purified. This post is now under the control of the perfect army of his perfectness, just imperfect. No one will leave this genetically and culturally inferior sector, which has been decided to undergo complete purification. Turn back and abide the beginning of the process. You are lucky to have the opportunity to sacrifice your worthless existence to the greater perfectness of the universe. Game tip, your ship's nose is the nest of the cooling system. If you heat up too much, you can upgrade the nose, or you can substitute energetic weapons with machine guns and cannons, or you can try some missiles. Okay, so this is another fun level to completely destroy. And there's a cool boss at the end, so let me manual crack this thing. My manual crack percent is getting up there, that I won't have to futz with this every time pretty soon. 7. Wait, did I? Okay. 9, 4? No. 5, 7, 0. 4 is gotta be the only other possibility. Correct. Lazy Romeo. A small pocket game called Lazy Romeo was created as a socializing interactive game for girls and women. It allows the player to live virtually with a fat guy called Romeo. Interaction was delivered by a simple interface with 5 buttons: cook, clean, wash, get beer, and now I have a headache. Surprisingly, the product was a total disaster. The planned LR2000 with virtuous smell device was never released. Let's just sell that and pretend that never existed. So, you know, let me see what I have for, okay, I have the tornado available now. That's tempting. And it's just out of reach. That sucks. This is a really nice little sprint gun type thing. It's going to be fun later. I think I'm going to swap that in for this at some point. But for right now, this is one where there aren't a lot of enemies attacking from the front necessarily, and the side attack is a little more useful. Or I could upgrade these missiles. Or I could upgrade this. Or I could upgrade these missiles. You know, the homing missiles are a real killer too if you get those up far enough. 30k for that. That's annoying. That's going to be just out of reach now. Oof, that's way out of reach. What about this? Oh, I can drop some into that. I can upgrade this again after all. Alright, I'm gonna wing it with this combo. Let's get her done. Who's that guy calling himself Mr. Perfect with his crazy movement for purification of the universe and the ridding of all ugliness? He sealed the sector's jump point and sieged the border with a fleet of his own to lock everybody inside. What's the next step? A mass plastic surgery? I doubt it. Hell knows where the guy's getting his funny ideas. Maybe too much time spent in a sun parlor. But don't worry, Mr. Perfect. There's no problem that can't be solved with one nicely placed nuke. An ugly, dirty, stinking soldier is coming to make your perfect planet a really perfect heap of ash. Don't forget to sell bombs and buy some extra frontal firepower when the next fight does not need anti-ground weaponry. Keep your guns optimal for every mission. Try to spend every credit to maximize your firepower. And here we go. See if I can get rid of one of these like this. Boom! These are a little tough to crack, so if I can handle these early on. Yeah, okay, we're not doing too bad. I think this build will make it through this mission without too much trouble. My heat's up to half capacity already, though, although it does cool pretty quickly. Like, if I stop firing for a second or two, it's already back to normal, so that's not too bad. Heat mechanic is very well implemented in this. Like, all that really happens when you get to max heat is that your gun stops firing until it drops back down to about 80% capacity. So it's like that. It just wobbles through that last 20% over and over, so you just fire in short bursts. So you don't completely lose the ability to fire. I completely ignored that half of the screen, and I definitely was not. Definitely got most of it there. Okay. Yeah, but it's actually, even if you max out the heat, it's usually, you know, like, there's some games that they lock you into a very long cooldown if that happens, and they decided not to do that here. It's effectively just you're firing in short bursts, and you're effectively missing out on some DPS, you know, some damage per second, but it's not the end of the world usually. There we go. Alright, I think this is where they all came out, and yeah, see, you know, even if I wasn't watching up here, that's not strictly a memorization, because as soon as I saw that coming from up there, I could have backed to the side of the screen and I would have been fine. That attack was sort of dodgeable. I was just in the worst possible place to get out of the way. Like, I know that a big complaint about this is that, well, because of all the ambushes and so on, it's like, well, this game is it's memorization dependent, too much memorization. And there are a lot of things that even when I don't remember they're there, I do have a fair chance to react to them, and I do actually avoid them anyway, even on hard. So I don't really, you know, and also let's face it, every game like this, unless they're using some kind of procedural generation that nothing's ever in the same place, they all depend on memorization, or at least you benefit from memorization to some degree in all of them. But I mean, if your reactions are fast enough, and if you've been thinking tactically, like not hugging the edge of the screen, which you know that enemies come in from, it's usually not as big of a problem as some people make it out to be. Just trying to destroy these bricks so I can get that painting. It's a fun secret item here. And I can crash into something if I try not to. No cooling, no heating for 20 seconds, so automatic cooling. I can just blaze away for a while and not even hold it. That's a placed power-up, that wasn't random. Occasionally you will get these guys randomly, very rarely you will get guys randomly dropping a cooling or a quad damage power-up, which is like the Silver Fist thing. But, you know, just so if you're get stuck on one checkpoint that you're, you know, it's one thing to help keep you from being stuck there forever if things are going really poorly. I think I should back down here and avoid all the bullets coming from up there. I might just tunnel through the buildings. Damn it, that plan didn't work out. One of them still got me. I was just lost too much health already. I didn't want to miss out on all those kills anyway. I may as well do it over. Checkpoint is pretty fair for this area. I'm about halfway through it anyway. Oh, this is I gotta tunnel to the picture again. I don't know what I missed up there, but I don't think it was that high value. Alright, I think we got it this time. One of the nice things about the auto track is that it will shoot down incoming missiles. Like some enemies launch homing missiles at you that are shootable. So that's another way to, you know, to protect your rear. Cover your butt, whatever you want to call it. Alright, now if I'm going to go for this thing, I have to be careful not to get trapped down here like I did the first time. I feel like that was big. Alright, we're getting there. Checkpoint ahead. I believe this, yeah, this is the boss. Alright. And there's a secret level thing here too, so I've got to be careful to catch it when he drops it. You'll see what I mean in a second here. I hope I don't miss it. I don't want to have to repeat this level to get it. I really want to show you guys that secret level. See if I can avoid landing the killing shot until he's in a good position for that. Oh. There we go. And that's his ID card. Secret level has been located. You gotta catch that before it falls off the screen. That little like red wallet thing. Justin Perfect's ID card, you're able to enter his galactic wardrobe. This priggish idiot had a storage compound for his clothes the size of a space station. Annihilate it. I mean, who doesn't have a walk-in closet the size of a space station these days? It's no big deal. Oh, I forgot to show you the hidden item. You know what, maybe next run. There's that Wonderworst only run coming anyway. That was Forcer Reflex, I'm sorry. But yeah, some of the bonus items have cool, you know, cute or funny descriptions. Or maybe it's better I don't spoil it for you anyway if you want to play this. But there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of cute sort of, you know, sort of hitchhikers type humor in this. What do I need here? I think not pumping up the missiles is a missed opportunity. Now I can't get anything else though, but that's fine. Actually, what about, oh yeah, I wanted to get Tornado, but I keep forgetting. figure it out. It'll be fine. This is a really nice little spread gun. It shoots... Basically, it shoots space junk. It's just a, you know, a rail gun that just sprays, like, you know, nuts and bolts and gears and whatever, and scrap metal at your enemies. It's kind of cute for that. They did try to make the guns different, not just everything is just like, you know, a regular gun with a different bullet pattern. It's like they actually tried to make the weapons cartoony and inventive, and I like that about this. Alright, let's go. This isn't a huge amount of money either, but it's a nice way to just chill out, you know. The only real challenge here is trying to catch these little gold coins for bonuses if you want to show off. The little guys each drop one, the big guys drop a bunch of them. Or rather, they bounce into the air and you gotta catch them before they fall off the station here. Boop. Drop. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, the homing missiles. When you upgrade the homing missiles, they start really being a menace. It's not technically the highest damage or, you know, best DPS weapon in the game, but it might be I think it's the most efficient use of the missile slot for a very good portion of the game. And later you get basically a different weapon, which is kind of bizarre, but is more or less an improved homing missile, and it's an improved version of this, and it's also awesome. Although they do have some other weird stuff that you can put in the missile slot, like the rodeo or the banjo. Like the rodeo missiles, they just fly around your ship in circles, so it's there mostly as a barrier from getting hit from the side. Yeah, they do loop the loops or a few loops around the ship before they fly off, so they usually hit something that's right around you. Which could be very handy. Because most of the other weapons in the missile slot are not homing. They're just missile pods, and they just spray stream of missiles in various patterns. I'm barely losing any health because these guys are fairly predictable and have got weapons that attack at every angle, so this is going to be a massacre. Unfortunately, it's just a massacre of inanimate space robots that hang close. And they're throwing little close hangers at you. I don't know if you can see that. There's a really wonderful detail in the pixel art in this game and the particle effects. But I'm playing in 1080p, and this game's original resolution, like one of the only drawbacks of this game in 2021, in my opinion, is that this game was made for 800 by 600. That was the max resolution for this when this came out, and even the gold version did not change that. So by the time it gets stretched to 1080p, and then it gets, then my encoding crunches it and whatever, I imagine a lot of the magic is lost. I'll have to check the VOD later and see how much of this adorable detail is actually visible. But, it's a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Now, what do I get after this? I think I know what mission I have after this, and I think I might want to ditch this thing. Because this does get very... No, wait, actually, this one works pretty well in this mission, I think. Could be wrong. You know what, I'm gonna risk it. Okay. I think we're alright. Take a sip of coffee. down to business. United Spaceship Impotence. See, they predicted that space flight back in 2006. They predicted it, just like you know. These guys predicted the future. A strong, fast, and deadly weapon in the Galactic Fleet. Now the new mobile headquarters of the USHF for this new mission against an old enemy. I have to reach the rendezvous point in this godforsaken sector and join the team, but I have to be careful. It seems that again Zox is one step ahead and his cursed pirates are already searching for me in this area. Mission objective. Reach the USS Impotence and join the Colonel's team. Beware of high pirate activity. You can count on artillery support as soon as you get within range of the Impotence's ion torpedoes. Game tip. You will meet the Albatross flyer-dropping jetpackers. Kill the jetpackers, but don't waste your time with the Albatross. You are not strong enough yet. I actually can kill one of those, by the way, with this build. I've done it before, so I might see if I can do that again. There's also at least one of them you can kill with a cool if you hack a certain item in this mission with the Remcon. I'll show you in a minute. I'll see if I can pull it off. The boss class enemy near the end of the mission is far beyond your power. Just keep out of his bullets and beams. See, that I've also done, but we'll see if magic happens this time. Maybe, maybe not. Let's take care of that. Get rid of that barrier. Hack this thing. I've got to hack this to overheat it, and then I'm going to wait for that guy to show up. There it is. Boom. And that does amazing damage to everything on screen. It's basically a smart bomb. If you hack the road sign, then when you shoot it, it basically becomes a nuke. My hitchhikers. Gotta save the hitchhikers. Save the hitchhikers, save the world. Oh, go away. Those things, like with those stupid acid sprayers look like a joke, but like if you actually get hit with that arc, it's of little green slime pellets, you are probably done. It's an awkward attack there, but it deals enormous damage if it actually hits you. I'm losing to these guys on the block and the missiles on my auto tracker. There you go. So you want to try to get as many kills as possible on this. Like, you really want to try to maximize your score at each level, because it becomes a vicious cycle if you have a crap level where you didn't really earn a lot of money, because then you can't afford as much firepower for the next one, and it's kind of a downward spiral from there. And I think the people who really struggle with the game, it's usually a matter of like having a crap build for a couple of levels where you had to miss too many kills, and then that snowballs into like a big problem later on because you're just under-equipped for the difficulty. Secret. So it's worth like checking out, try different builds, you know. It's why they let you save, it's why they let you sell back stuff for full price. It's why they give you the little target range with the boxes with hit points on them, so you can see exactly how good you are killing various ranges of targets, and how good you are at hitting them in the first place. Because they do give you a fair chance to experiment with your builds, but you don't just dive in and realize that all your weapons are useless. And the weapon briefings do kind of warn you if you need stuff like bombs for a ground mission or whatever. Okay, here's the guy is supposedly unkillable. Well, we're gonna test that. I'm not supposed to be able to kill this guy. He's supposed to be out of my reach at this point in the game. He might not be. Although I might take a little too much damage getting greedy to be able to finish him off. We'll see how it works out. He's down to half health already. I've got like maybe half a minute to go here. I'm at low health, but I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. 2, 1, 0. Boom. Goodbye. Thank you for playing. Oh, fuck. If I dodged... Nah. I lost too much health there. Okay. Let's try that again. I think the music glitched. I might not have music now. It does that sometimes. In this particular part, if I just spam space bar, that's fine. The music in this game is fantastic. I'm not hearing it right now because I think it glitched out when I immediately didn't wait a minute for the game over music to play. I really want to do that because I know it's possible. I just need to not take as much damage doing it. You know, I do have enough DPS to stop it. You know, to get those 2 shots on him for free. I keep sitting in a single place there. Also, some of his forward weapons, like the cannon and the laser, are really bad, and you don't want to get touched by them. I don't want to camp the edge of the screen too hard because that's how you get rammed and that's how you get hit before you can dodge anything. Oh, that was a cannon shell. I could have done without that. Instant range, calling for artillery. Yeah, hold faster. Iron torpedoes impact 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please hurry up. Oh, wow, that was close. It looks like a giant Woody. What is that up there? Four gathers follow you. Thank you very much for the follow and welcome to the channel. Appreciate it. I'm doing a full playthrough of Jets and Guns Gold today, and we're getting to the fun part. Oh, is this going to be the... Yeah, I can't remember if this is the Zombie Park or the rock concert. Let me see. Reached the cruiser in the nick of time. One more second, I would have been vaporized by those goddamn pirates. I finally joined the team and started my hunt for Zox and his bloody henchmen. Soldier, the enemy is hiding on an unknown place and working hard on his vile plan, the destruction of the universe. We must start our investigation at once. Our first steps must lead to the intergalactic scientific complex where Professor Von Hamburger was kidnapped. But we have a problem, Doc. Welcome aboard. I'm Dr. Machino Gnocchi. A better problem. Something has created a super hard crust around the whole complex. We simply cannot get in without risking major damage and loss of all possible clues. However, we believe there is a way. The crust's origin is a mystery so far, but it is organic, and there is one substance in the universe capable of decomposing any organic material, the legendary Einhoff lager. Unfortunately, the Einhoff beer empire has been lost for a long time, and we got no reports of Beer Cube or Sphere encounters in the last 8 or 9 decades. But we are lucky. One of the civil intelligence agents who operates in a distant sector near the border of known space has possibly found location of the Lost Beer Empire. We need that man. Game tip. Equip your ship for another air-to-ground mission with hordes of annoying infantry. Buying some bombs would be wise. Alright, I think this is the zombie park, actually. So, this is going to be where I upgrade ships, possibly. Decisions. I could upgrade this a little bit more, but I think I might have hit my limit on how useful this thing's going to be. And I have missiles and auto-track to cover my sides, so I think I'm going to risk getting rid of this. I need a little more forward firepower for some parts of the upcoming missions. So the scatter gun, I think, is going bye-bye. Should I upgrade to this thing? Let's see what happens. You know, I think I might go for it. I love this thing, but it's got no bombs, and I'd like to have bombs for some of the ground missions. Alright, I think it's time to do that. Oh, and I can change the paint job on this. I got like this red baron thing. This, like, I don't know what this is, but whatever. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be. And this cool thing. This little, like, musical themed thingy here. Sort of like circus plant. That's kind of cute. I like that. Now, did my gun pop into inventory? Yeah, it did. I'm gonna put the auto track center slot. Pink Panther's here. Gonna see if I can at least get one bomb equipped. Give me a second to figure some things out here. Oh, auto crack is at 60%, but I'm still gonna go for manual. None of those are in there. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 5, a 7, and an 8. Ooh, close. 750? Correct. More brakes. A huge endless heap of brakes. 4. 2 and 4 in there. 6 and 8 are in these positions, so it's, let's see, 2, 6, 4, 8. Correct. Alright. And we got another duplicate of the same hit guide, so I don't need that really. Well, actually, I don't need any of these because I already know where all the secret weapons are and stuff, so I'm just gonna zap these out of my, sell these back right now. And I am just short of getting the tornado. And that's kind of a shame. Remcon's still maxed out on this. I can't get a better one yet. Let me see. I think if I'm just going to sell this off right now and just buy back the same one at a lower rate. And drop the tornado in there to back it up. I'm not thrilled about having these two at like such a low level, but I think my homing weapons and the bombs will pick up enough slack that I should be able to squeak through this one. I probably switched ships a little too fast. I think really they expected you maybe to go back to the Goblin if you want the bomb slot back, or to just use air-to-ground weapons. Like here they unlock the Tectonic Laser, which is one that like, it's like an anti-ground beam that just like strafes the ground at an angle. There's also, like, later you get, you also get an acid gun that's kind of like a shorter range, but nastier version of the same thing. I've actually done the level with, like, you know, like the acid and tectonic laser combo with, like, the auto tracker backing me up, so when I was doing it with the Wanderwurst, but I want to leave the Wanderwurst behind for this run because, you know, that was fun. I'm going to do a Wanderwurst only run at some point, but not today, so let me save before I check myself, before I wreck myself. And we're going to go for it. The man I'm looking for is Agent Lemon, who works undercover among the pirate clans of the lawless peripheral sectors for civil intelligence. This mission seemed pretty easy with a small, quick fighter like mine. Fly to the given planet, visit the local fun park called Zoo of Hades, meet the agent, and get the info. Yeah, piece of cake. One thing I could not count with was that the inmates of the biggest zombie safari in this area chose this week as a good time to start their bloody revolution. Now the whole park is in the hands of undead rebels, and I can only hope that Agent Lemon somehow managed to survive. So this is like a zombie-themed park. Okay, see if I can get the secret bonus here. If I don't zap too many things in the wrong order here. There's going to be a sign that I need to shoot the top off of. Just drop some bombs on these guys to get them out of the way right now. This guy. Got it. Yeah, if you shoot the sign before you shoot the head off, you miss that secret. It's just a hull bonus, but it counts as a secret for the for this level. Yeah, I've got these little zombie dudes like throwing brains at me or something in protest, so gotta. If you have certain weapons here, this is where you can get one of those there's like an achievement, I think, for killing some ridiculous number of infantry with one hit as a multi-kill, which also gets you the bonus for the Carnage camera. Like if you have the laser or the cauldron bomb, like the VX laser, you can sort of, if you can swoop down there at just the right time, let it build up, and then you can zap a whole bunch of them in 1 second, and it gets you the achievement. I don't know why my auto track is shooting at guys that can't possibly hit. I guess there should be a limitation on choosing the game with that weapon. Sometimes it works in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. These guys have balloons have a shield that you can't hit them from the front, so I'm glad I can do this. Smells like victory. The thing I gotta be careful with this ship is that it is very squishy and does not. It's more maneuverable than the truck was, but it doesn't have a lot of health. It also doesn't have a lot of cooling, so if I was using one of the more energy-intensive weapons, like the flamethrower, this thing would be overheating all the time. Or if I was using the lasers instead of the machine guns. At some point, that's going to become a difficulty. What am I up against here? I think this might be the pile of brains. I can't remember. Heap of brains. One for the whole family. I don't know if I can crack this thing with the weapons I got. Oh, I did. Alright, I got the secret. Cool. I was afraid I was going to miss it for a second there. They hid like a Necronomicon type thing in there because of obligatory Lovecraft references. I don't think I can crack that, but that's just, there's nothing under that. That's just extra bonus points. Just one more thing to blow up. This guy would be really annoying if I only had forward guns and nothing else and like no bombs. Because if you can only attack at a forward angle, like trying to get in there to hit him is going to be a real tough mission there. Grab the secret. Look for any gap in his shot pattern so that you don't get forced to one side of the screen too far. Like I'm getting it happening right now. Let me see. I think I got him. There we go. New record. And I have 3 secrets. As I expected, the agent wasn't there. I wonder what the CI smartasses will come up with now. The Adderix device cracks the locks of captured cargo containers. Beware, the crate will self-destruct if your cracking fails. You can use auto-cracking. The probability of success is indicated in %. Machine learns from successful attempts, so crack some crates manually to raise the chance of auto-cracking before you start to use it. Manual crack. You have to type in a 4-digit code to unlock the box. Try some input and watch the color indicators. Green, exact match. Yellow, a correct number with a wrong position. Red, a totally wrong number. See the example. 2 inputs were tested. It's clear that the code is question 2, question 8. It's also obvious that the 2 uncertain numbers are 3 and 4. 3 is not in third position. It's marked yellow there, so the code must be 3248. Necrophilicon. Unholy book written by mad Glotosian follower of some ancient god. His grammar is so bad that it would wake the dead if he tried to read any part of it out loud. Nonetheless, the ugly item bound in cumulative remains is quite a notable price on the black market for antiques. 13,666 credits. Sold. Now I can upgrade something. As much as I'd like to upgrade the bombs, I think you can drop more of them before they have to reload. I think my tornado is a big deal right now, and do I have the super killer? No, I don't have it available yet. Okay. I'll upgrade that and Panther maybe. What about this? That upgrade's out of reach right now. If you skimp too much on forward firepower for too long, you start getting screwed at a certain point. Just a warning. Even though the game still does attack you from the sides and the back, it's there's some places where either you have large formations flying straight at you, or you have walls of bricks that you have to tunnel through so that you don't get scrolled off the screen. And if you only had like rear guns or homing guns or weird like area effect weapons, that's when you start to really suffer. Save. 2. I'm not touching save slot 1 because that was my, I did the Wanderworst only run once, and that's my last save from it. I just like having that there as a reminder that I actually did it. But I should do that I should stream that sometime. I should give that another crack. It'd be a painful sort of fun. I have 40k I'm not using. I can't upgrade this once I broke it. This I can't upgrade. This I can't, but I can make the bombs a little beefier, so I'll go with that. I'm gonna need one of these soon, but I know which mission I have to get this after. There's, this gives you 5 times score for certain randomly marked enemies, but it has another function is that you can capture the galactic villains, or certain mini-bosses you'll get a special bonus for in some levels, only if you have this license on you. That you actually capture a pirate in your cargo bay, and then you can like click and sell them for an extra bounty. So you want to get this before the 20th level of the game, but we're not nearly there yet. You'll know when we're going into that when I'll point it out when we get there. I think it's time. Some things here I hardly ever get. Rotary cage would be nice, but right now it's too expensive and my guns aren't good enough. When I get stuff like the super killer and the hammerhead, maybe I'll drop that into this thing. Right now I think it's a waste of money that would be better spent toward making the gun stronger rather than... What you can do with the rotary cage is that with either... Well, one of the nice things they added in the gold edition is that you can rotate it with the mouse wheel, but it allows you to like click these top and bottom gun slots. You can click them so that they're pointing up and down at an angle, or straight up and down, or sort of backwards at an angle. So you can do up down diagonally, and that makes even only certain weapons can be rotated. Some of the energy weapons and other weird things like the VX laser you can't rotate. So you should, if it has this little the little rotary icon in here, it can be rotated. The little sextant icon, or it's supposed to. I don't think that's marked properly for every weapon, but it's marked for almost all of them. I think maybe there's one that isn't marked correctly, but and also you can test it on the firing range if you're not sure. But that was one of my favorite features in the game, and I'm really surprised that it hasn't been copied in a lot of other games yet, because it's a blast when it really works out. Alright, let's go. Oh yeah, as far as I'm not getting weapon sets and controller because I feel like it's kind of pointless. jetpack rescue system is like if you're, it's a cute novelty, but if you're losing that bad that you know, that you end up having to eject into the jetpack, you're probably gonna get your jetpack's probably getting destroyed too. So unless you're like an inch from the checkpoint, it usually doesn't matter. Circulus is good later, but I don't have the cash for it right now. Nano machines, ditto. It's kind of like a health regen. Power shield is like a regenerating energy shield, but that costs heat also. So like every time you get hit, your heat meter's going up a little bit, and you can kind of get stun locked that way. And then of course there's the usual hull upgrade. This doesn't have the engine upgrade like the other one did. Not every ship has every upgrade available. Alright. I think we're going. I thought that agent was there because of the zombies, but the situation is worse. It looks like Lemon's disguise was finally compromised in the most inappropriate time possible. The guy is now held captive by one of the local gangs of privateers, but which one? We need to ask a pirate or two some questions. Luckily, a concert of the mutant metal band called Machine Supremacy takes place on a nearby asteroid. High concentration of heads of the gangs makes a useful information source. Mission objective: attack the concert scene and break any pirate resistance. Hopefully the intelligence will find any information helpful to locate Lemon's whereabouts. Game tip: kill white cistern trucks. They cover men and they explode in strong killing waves. 2 reasons to blow them up fast. So basically if you hit this truck, you'll destroy all these little troopers around it. Okay, let's get going. Also, I think there's a secret weapon that I'll cover here, so I'm gonna see if I can uncover it for you. Ow, ow, ow. It's relatively short level. Ooh. A lot of these things falling is going to do most of the damage by itself. Secret under the bridge. Oh wait, no, it's not it. And I'm standing in front of the machine gun. I'm a fool. Now I can drop 3 instead of 2. I'm being extra careful not to destroy this thing. I'm usually not so overly cautious. Is it coming up? Here it is. If I zap this thing, I can grab the secret weapon and then destroy this. Secret weapons in this aren't really... I think most of them aren't that useful, but they're just cute novelties. It's almost like cut content. It's like stuff that they... Maybe we're going to make a regular weapon in a game at some point, and they were like, eh, this is... man. So they decided to sort of hide it as a little bonus. There's also hidden ships. Some of those are a real pain to unlock. I'll see what I can do when I get there. I'd like to unlock all the ships on this run too. You know, the screen shake is kind of a cool effect, but it does get a little obnoxious, and it would be nice. It would have been nice if they put a switch to turn that off in the options. Fortunately, in the second game they did. Second game they realized that not everybody wants that, and they have an option to either adjust it so it's not so intense, or just, you know, push the slider to 0 and just turn it off effectively. Because that literally gives some people a headache. Yeah, that's part of why I have the warnings on this stream title. The raid on the concert was worth the effort. We dug up our spy guy in no time. Seems like he's having a really nice time locked up with a pack of butchers in some rotten star pub. Well, I guess we have to pick him up before the pirates take his guts out. I don't know any criminal with sympathy for undercover cops. Game tips: sell bombs. This is going to be an outer space mission. Invest all money in front firepower. Don't shoot asteroids when they get close to you. I hate this mission. I remember this one. They break into small, fast boulders, and those are really dangerous. Avoid asteroids that are too near. Avoid the Dragon battleship in the end. Not your weight now. There are a lot of gold bonuses in level. Get as much as you can. Alright, this is one area where I might actually want to either sell or downgrade the homing weapons because they can actually be a liability here. Let me show you this hidden weapon here. Tomato Deluxe. First version of Tomato Deluxe was created as a reaction to demands of the ex-fans of Fecal Metal band Radioactive Nun. The band is deserted to Sada Metal, to great disgrace of the supporters. The fans used the gun to show their frustration on the tour. It was a really vicious year for the Nun. Today, the weapon can be found in the catalog of the Ministry of Silly Guns under ID blah 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 blah, and is considered to be a very rare collector's item. Unfortunately, the secret ones have no resale value at all. You get nothing for selling it off. I might just leave it in inventory for now. I really never use these though. Like I've played with them a little bit on previous runs. They're not that great. Now I really want to try and pump up the forward firepower here because what they said about the asteroids is like, this is one thing where like the homing, well, the scatter weapons like the radiator and the homing weapons to a lesser degree can be liabilities because they break too many rocks and you start getting hit by shrapnel before they just even with your side attacks or your homing attacks, you just get overwhelmed by all the rubble before you can pop it. So it's better to just sort of tunnel through it with a strong forward attack sometimes. I have Super Killer. I can get rid of this piece of garbage. Hopefully. I don't like... Pink Panther is alright, but it's like it builds up way too much heat for this ship. So what am I doing? How much faith do I have in these homing weapons? Like, not much in this, because they're going to be constantly distracted by rocks. So, I could just downgrade them with the down key, but I usually, just so I remember what I'm doing, what I do is I buy the baby versions of the weapon over again. I think I still want one, I just don't think that I want one maxed out because the upgrade money would be better spent here. I might even just swap out the homing missiles entirely for one of these missile weapons. I have Fleecer, Ghost Rodeo, Phoenix is useless in this level. It's not really useful in general. This is like this might be the weakest or most situational weapon in the game because it's good sometimes. There's a few levels where it'll hit, there are very few levels where you have so many opportunities for it to actually hit something because it's a missile that it's kind of a replacement for, like say if you're playing the Wanderworst, don't have a bomb slot and you do attack stuff on the ground, it's a missile that falls down and then until it hits the ground and then rockets forward. And if you're in space, it's useless because it has no collision until it hits the ground. And if you can't just bomb aerial targets with it like you can with this thing. And if you're in, there are a lot of levels where the terrain is just too rough for it to actually hit anything because it never has a flat surface to rocket along. The only use you can get out of it sometimes is dropping it on, like, if you're over a hill, you can drop it on the downside of the hill and it might hit some incoming planes as it rockets off the edge of the hill, which is a neat trick sometimes, but it's way too situational. I don't really bother with it that much. I've tried making it useful. The only use I got out of it, I think, was in my Wanderworst only when I used my Wanderworst run. I used it to kill a certain target that's at the bottom of a silo that you have to be able to shoot straight down to hit it, so I dropped one of these down there and got it. That was about the most use I ever got out of that. It's also a mine deployer, but I don't use that much. This lets you scatter mines behind you, and you can pretty much just hold the trigger because it reloads faster than it deploys. And obviously, they're stationary, but your enemies are, will usually like fly into them, and you know, makes kind of a barrier that, like, most of your enemies will be flying through them and taking at least some damage. And since they scatter from above and below your ship, you can kind of park above or below a boss ship or something and scatter mines directly into them. Alright, so what should I use? I've got Super Killer, I've got Tornado. The Tornado needs a fair amount of heat. Should I max that out, or should I max... Super Killer uses no heat, which is one of its big advantages. It's basically a heatless gun. Bombs are not usually useful for a space mission, but there's some targets where you can fly over them and pepper them with bombs, so... If I have money left over, that might be where I throw it. You know, if I can't upgrade... Oh, I can't upgrade this to max. Okay. And let me see if I can get... Incubus Rocket Pod. I would need a little more money to be able to upgrade that the rest of the way. Alright, I'm gonna sell that. Just get the baby version. Alright. This is gonna be my loadout, I think. I hope this actually works out. This level is supremely annoying, and I might swear at the screen a little bit. We'll see how it goes. See why I need the forward firepower here. You're just like, it's just a fire hose of enemies coming at you. It's ridiculous. And, you know, enemies and obstacles. Oh, and they hit pretty hard too, and I am the squishy boy right now. Yeah, this isn't going so great already. This mission never goes that great, though, I don't feel like. This is always a struggle bus. And we're about to get this impact to try again. At least those guys, for some reason, don't turn. They found some mercy there that they decided that would have been too mean. Oh, don't hit me with that, don't hit me with that, don't hit me with that. That energy beam is like instant death from over there. Yeah, I'm not gonna get it. Alright. These poor hitchhikers are probably gonna be on their own, too, because I don't know if I can dodge all this crap and pick up hitchhikers. Definitely a test of my dodging skills today. I don't think I should go down there for anything. I don't remember anything that great being down there. And if I miss a couple of cargo shipments, I don't care either. I just want to get this level over with. This mission will really just heat up your attempts for like a whole friggin' day if you allow it. It is spring, yes. Alright. Made it through there with a minimum of difficulty. Alright, that's my baby hitchhiker. I'm getting back up here because I think I feel a little better up here because I have the option of bombing stuff. Oh, please go away. I hate you. I hate you so much. No. Stop. Stop with the kicking. I missed the cargo, it's fine. I just want to make it to the checkpoint, man. Oof. Oh, bad move. That would have been health if I made it. And I was about halfway through the level. There's a checkpoint not too far after that, I think. Alright, I have sort of a plan to get through this. I think I'll be alright. Also, I should stop with the spray and pray and just shoot the stuff that's in front of me. Because I'm going to overheat anyway. And try not to break too many rocks for no reason. I mean, I know it's score, but it's not really worth it to take the risk. Wow, that's bad. Oh, I didn't actually land that much. One out there. Stop. Yeah, that was a total fiasco. Try again. tracker was nice enough to break that one rock so it could hit me. Without that. That's what I'm talking about. Can I say thing trigger? Oh, that was bad. I don't have enough health to make it now. Let's just practice. Back to the official data run. I hate leaving the hitchhikers, though. I don't even remember how many are in this level. I think 3. There is some achievement for picking up a certain number of them, but I don't think it's like... It's not like you have to 100% it and not miss one. It's not for 100%ing the hitchhikers. It's just a thing you grind. And it's just bonus points. It's not really the biggest skill in the world. Except for the hitchhikers. Alright. That was a miracle. I'll take it. Don't hit me with the red beam of death, please. Gotta watch this guy's foot machine up a little bit more than I've been doing. Virgo. If I can just live long enough to get that effing health thing. I remember that like a really bad attack shows up right when that thing does. So that's gonna be interesting. Stop like little like fighter planes with bayonets on them. It's like this kind of silly cartoon violence thing I suggest you do here. Right. And I remember something awful. Yes, that loop comes and hits you right in the belly if you're not paying attention. And here's the checkpoint if I can reach it. Which even that close is not guaranteed. I've died almost touching it sometimes. Ooh, hitchhiker. Gotcha. Alright. Now, if I'm not completely sloppy, I should be able to make it through this without embarrassing myself anymore than I already have. Fuck you and your missiles. Fuck you and your bullets. Get that thing away from me, please. Scaring the children. I think this is where the dragon ship comes out. I can probably hack it to make it useless. Oh, it's this guy again. There we go. Missiles. Those things that try to give you a sign or something are absurd and ridiculous. Got him. Hitchhiker. Made it. More or less. I gesturized him, whatever that means. Alien restaurant. Now this part is a treat. You're gonna like this. Well, actually you're probably not. Nobody likes this. Entered the pub and skipped the introduction as usual. Hey scum, hand over the agent you're imprisoning and I'll consider your right to a quick, painless death. As expected, 3 little pigs are raised and started the intro of the well-known composition for a fist and a knife that is played in scum bars like this one 1,000,000 times a day throughout the galaxy. Hey, what a big talk for a little dirty cop. Maybe you tell us why you do that instead of ripping every bone out of your body. I started to deliver my arguments when another pirate jaw stood up in a corner. The bossy aura around him was almost physical. All of the rats stopped to fight, at least those who survived the first 10 seconds conscious. Gentlemen, I think we can solve our problem by a much more civilized and entertaining way. Mr. Federal Hero, I'm willing to release the agents, but there's no free ride. First you have to earn your price. We arrange races at an old shipwreck yard. We will set up a course for you. Fly through and you can leave freely with your fellow snooper. But miss one gate and we are going to fry you both on a slow fire. Mwahahaha. One more thing. Forget your tuned super ship. We're going to lend you ours for this ride. Har har har. Okay, so this is the obligatory... You lose all your stuff and have to work with nothing. They give you this basic little ship with no weapons. I'm gonna sell off some of these secret things in the metal. I don't even have my gadget available, so I can't hack these containers right now. Let me save, because this is going to be miserable. Just start from down here again. Save. Alright, now this is the part everyone hates and says is unfair and stupid and needs to be removed from the game. And I don't have that much trouble with it usually. It's going to be funny if I totally manage to botch it this time, because people are actually watching now. But usually I fly this on the first try with very little trouble. I've tried doing it with mouse, I've tried doing it with gamepad. I think it's just, some people have said that basically, I mean, this is maybe the most hated level in the game. There are people on the forums who say this level basically ruins the game for them, and this is why they didn't make this mandatory in the second one. In Jets and Guns 2, there's a secret level kind of like this, but it's purely optional. Here it's actually required to advance the story. I just don't understand how people, unless they're playing on easy and they're just hosing everything down with overwhelming firepower, I don't know how you get this far into the game without being able to dodge, because you saw the amount of dodging I had to do just to get this far. So, we'll see. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully I won't die more than a couple of times, but, you know, it's very common for me to just one and done this. Let's see if I can do it this time. The only problem is if you miss these gates, you're done. But like if you crash into the sides, you take damage and your ship is a little squishy. I think they difficulty adjusted this once, or maybe they didn't, and there's like a little bit of a controversy about that on the... I think like one of the developers was like, well, yeah, we're going to, but then they talked to the other one, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think we ever actually implemented that. But yeah, this is super hated. I'm taking a little bit of damage, but it could be worse. Also, I'm getting a little greedy for the gold bonuses, which you can completely ignore because they're completely optional. So don't drive yourself crazy trying to get those if you're having trouble with this. Just ignore them. They're bait. They're purely there to make a not too difficult level difficult. They're optional difficulty. Although sometimes they kind of show you a useful path. And sometimes they show you a useless path just to piss you off. It is possible to 100% the gold. I'm not doing it this time. It's also possible to no-hit this, I'm relatively certain. I'm sure someone out there has done it. I don't know if I've ever no-hit it. Checkpoint. Also, I think the very original version of this game but there's a lot of things that were very different about Gold, so it's not fair to compare anything in the current game to that. But the original version before the Gold edition, I think did not have the shit. Almost missed one. Didn't have checkpoints, and certain parts of this were a little nastier. Also, weapon balance was different. Some of the weapons were also more or less more useful or less useful. So there's that too. I mean, as you would expect from so many games. I never even went low on health. Bye-bye. Not my best run, but it worked. Yeah, so that was the dreaded space race that everyone is always screaming about. Now for this, I'm gonna hack these. I'm 2 cracks away from being done with this dumb minigame. It's really not the worst minigame ever. The worst minigame ever is if you do that, there's a Tetris minigame built into this, which is actually the worst minigame ever. I don't care for it. Fortunately, that's only useful as purely as a time killer or for an achievement, so... The hell did I just... Oh, that was dumb. Numbers were right in front of me. Correct. Hyper Shopping Golden Card. Credit card for intergalactic business system. You can exchange it for some extra credit. Who keeps their credit card in a cargo container and like in a crate? I'm just saying. It's one of those weird rich people things I don't understand. I hate when it does this. It's still perfectly solvable. It's just I'm not seeing a clear pattern. I'm gonna have to puzzle it out a little bit more. What positions have I not used yet? I think I already botched this. Let me see if it at least gives me that. Okay, I know where 7 is at least. I hardly ever have any trouble with these whatsoever, but of course I'm streaming, so, you know, it figures. And the same thing again. Alright. That's good because you're both 7k crits instead of 500, so it's worth the slight effort there. Also, it means that this thing has a 100% crack chance now, so that's beautiful. I'm trying to remember what's the easiest path to punk this guy. I think the homing missiles are generally my best friend here. I think I could upgrade these to the max. Nice. Oh, there's this, there's the tomato, and then there's like, sometimes they give you this disposable weapon that it's, you'll pick up a version of like a weapon that you're not going to unlock until later. But what it does is like it'll only fire for like a minute, and then you basically just have an empty weapon slot there for the rest of the level. So I don't really bother with those either. But it's an interesting little way that they added some content to the game. We're just gonna pump this maybe by one shot. Yeah, I can only do it by one. Oh wow, I'm like almost nothing from being able to upgrade the bomb. It's fine, we'll manage. Save and go. This boss is a little annoying, I might die. It'll be fun. I flew through the course and won the bet for the agent's life, and my own. Then I prepared for a departure immediately. The smell of fried meat of unknown origin around the station started to be really annoying. Man, that was close. I really thought I was done for. Yeah, I have the information you're looking for, but don't celebrate yet. Something's telling me we won't leave that easily. I spent some time with those animals after all. We just left the docking bay when Lemon proved to be right. A familiar face showed up on the videocom. Hello again, Mr. Hero. I'm not sure what you're doing now, but it looks like you are leaving us. No, I'm afraid I cannot let that happen. Everybody's using completely the wrong accent for this guy. Everybody saw that you were cheating on that race. You have lost, so if you please deactivate your engines and weapons and let us get you aboard. This man really does not recognize his limits when he meets them. It's time to teach him a lesson. I need to get this guy down to half really fast because his homing missiles are a big threat. I really want him to start using his mines because... crap. Alright. Take two. See, this part for me is 10 times as annoying as the race, but it is one of the more fun boss fights in the game too, so I can't complain that much. Fuck your homing missiles, you suck. Alright, now he's at half health, so what happens is that he starts spamming mines, and his mines block the arena, but they also block his homing missiles. So it's actually slightly to his disadvantage when he does this. It's kind of a desperation move. See, his missiles just hit his own mines there. And I can put peekaboo with him up here. Yeah, he's just going to hit his mines every time he shoots that. Need to get away from this weapon. Oh, he took a little brains there. This is one of the few boss fights isn't over in like a minute every time. I think I can rush him. There we go. Only took 2 attempts. Could be worse. Okay, so that went pretty well. What else am I going to upgrade now? I should check every now and then to see if I have new weapons in the store. This is kind of fun. It's like a sprint beam that shoots above and below whatever slot you put it in. That can be fun if you're running like an area effect build. Really good for like when little enemies are swarming you from all around. I think right now I'm sticking with forward firepower. I forget what comes after this, honestly, but I think that's the best option. Is just pump up the forward firepower and let that do the work. This. Up bombs. Save that slot. Can't afford the space car yet. It's not a big deal. I don't get one more weapon slot out of it, and I haven't even maximized what I'm doing with these. Also, it's a slightly bigger target than this thing, although it is a little more durable, I think. Let's go. Sir, we have a beer cube on the monitor. A really large one. Is it charging pipes? Negative. Locate the lager tank and prepare to launch the fighter within 15 minutes. I want that thing aboard in 1 hour. Aye, aye, sir. Game tip. Don't forget to check the whole list of weapons, bombs, and missiles and ships in the shop for new items marked with a new sign. Goods are ordered alphabetically, so the new prices can be hidden lower in the list. Got it. Alright. Now this is the, obvious reference is obvious.
We are beer. You will be extinct. Resistance is futile.
Yeah, obligatory Star Trek reference to go with the obligatory Star Wars references and everything else. I hope there's some health soon. I don't remember there being a lot of health in this level, though. Yeah, this might be a do-over. These enemies are really beefy. Very tough to take down. They should a lot of, putting a lot of damage really fast. This is another area that, like, I think was rebalanced at some point, because it actually used to be worse. You see how well that went. Fortunately, that was the second after the checkpoint. Secret. It's a secret to everybody. Well, actually, I have the missiles to get those little mice off me, so... I don't know why wind-up mice are a thing, and this is some cultural reference maybe I don't get. Like, why this is why the beer company's logo is the mice. Unless this is some kind of backwards, like, Disney reference or something. Like this used to be a beer theme park. Like Busch Gardens or something, I don't know. Also, they have beaver flags, so... Flag with a beaver. Well, that's a flag I can get. Dear God, why? Yeah, everyone complains about the space race, but they don't... Hardly anyone seems to complain about this. Why? Who knows? And this used to be more of a miserable game. Can I even stop one of these guys? It's not looking like it. Oof. I do a little better with the Wanderwurst here, because I usually am just like... If I stuck with the Wanderwurst, I'm usually spamming so much... You know, so many spread guns and everything with so much capacity that it doesn't really matter what they do, what they try to do to me. But I feel a little undertanked right now. Alright, then squeaks by with a little more health this time. Checkpoints do not restore you to full health, I think they restore you to about, I think the bare minimum is like about a third if you really were like, if you squeaked by that checkpoint with less than that. I just need to dodge better. I'm taking too many bullets that I can't afford to take. I forget that I can't tank bullets like I can in some of the other ships. I don't think I made promises to do anything to these guys. Oh wait, I got one of them. Alright. That's nice. I might just have to avoid this and just miss the kill. Can I get him? Secret. Let me cool the guns off for a minute before I hit this part. At least I got a little health back. Okay, I think I'm already... Alright, I'm already there. Oh. There we go. That was exciting. We there? Okay, great. Sir, we have a serious problem here. I'm near the logger deck, but it can't be released from this side. There's a tunnel to the next section. The releasing mechanism probably lies, but it's too narrow to navigate through with the ship. And we still have a pretty fierce resistance in that part of the cube. The tank is almost in our hands. Any suggestions, Doc? Well, we can make a few quick modifications to the service jetpack to enable it to carry weapons. A good pilot should be able to fight his way through the next section with it and cut off the tank. Do it. Only 1 hour had passed when a robot brought me the modified jetpack and a fine selection of weapons, too. I choose my hardware very carefully. This device can't load up as many guns as a regular ship. As a jetpacker, you do not collide with terrain, and you are a pretty small target. Oh, thank you very much for the raid. I don't know why I'm not hearing it right now. Puppy Pound Gaming, FB. Raiding with a party of 1 raiders. Thank you very much and welcome to the channel. I am just about to do the first jetpack level in Jets and Guns Gold, so should be a fun time. And by a fun time, I mean horrible. Let's get this over with. How much money do I have to upgrade these? Do I have better guns available yet? I've got Super Killer. I do not... I'd like to have the Hammerhead here, but I don't have it available yet. I can squeak by without it, though. If going to sell off... why are these like this? Alright. Oh, they moved my slots around. 2 things I want to do with the Tornado and the Super Killer. And if I sell off some of this crap, I should be able to upgrade a little more. Not quite yet. Sell off the missiles, too. I can always buy this stuff back. It's a 100% transaction. Had more, but took me a minute to raid. Don't worry, it happens, man. Well, welcome to the channel, and thank you for your support, and thank you for the raid. I think this is the first time I've ever been raided by anyone, so this is a landmark in my my baby Twitch career. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to save over here to save that. I think with this combo, I should be able to bully my way through here. Actually, should I I know what I should do. I should ditch the tornado for right now, just for this level, and I'm going to show you what the maxed out Daisy Cutter looks like. You've already seen what the maxed out tornado looks like. Daisy Cutter. You didn't used to be able to... This is the default gun. You didn't used to be able to upgrade it this far, I think, until the Gold Edition. But it's another rotary cannon type. And it's about the same maxed out price as the Super Killer. I think this has more DPS, but the Super Killer has no heat. Like, makes no heat generation. And Daisy Cutter makes heat and has a little bit more spread. That seems to be the primary difference between them. So, with these two, I should be able to get through here. Start Z level. We're trying to use two different guns because I don't know if it's not really self-explanatory from the title, but I have a sort of a policy not to put more than one of the same gun or missile or whatever on the ship, because I feel the game is a little more balanced that way. There are some things that are a little too cheesy if you just put they're fine if you have one of them and you're mixing them with other weapons, but they're, you know, if you put one in every slot, it becomes a little overwhelming for certain situations. It just becomes too easy. Like, common examples would be, you know, early game putting the auto-track minigun in like, almost all of your slots, or the Gladiator or some area effect weapon like that. Or in like the later game, when you get the hexagon, really one hexagon is more than enough, and they never did successfully figure out why that gun punches above its weight so far. So you know they nerfed it, and it's still pretty good. So, but if you put those in every slot, certain encounters get ridiculous because bosses just evaporate. So I'm trying to limit myself a little bit here, not to make this a total cakewalk, because I've played this to death. One nice thing about not having collision with the terrain is I can grab these little secrets. You don't have to worry about touching the sides, because that doesn't damage you as a jetpacker, like it does for regular ships. I think you can still ram enemy troopers with this too with no damage, which is also nice. But yeah, there's only a couple of weapons where there's one which, there are a couple of jetpack levels, and there's a scuba suit level, which is basically just a jetpack level underwater. And a couple of other odd situations where you have to use a special ship and don't get to use your preferred loadout. So to mix things up a little. A lot of people don't particularly care for those levels. I think they're neat. They're inventive. They kind of make sense in the story. The only thing that annoys me is that then you have to like re-equip all your. It doesn't remember where all your stuff was equipped. So when you get your ship back, you have to sort of like click everything back into place, which is that only takes less than a minute. So that's not such a big deal. Drunken Master of Delirium. It's like a day in college. This guy has a force field, and you have to keep shooting his hat off to get the force field to go away. But his hat respawns, though. Like, that's his shield generator. And he throws all kinds of crap at you in a drink of the fury at the same time. There we go. That didn't take too long. Some of these I'm not going to be able to hit because they're recessed. I can stop this one now. The other two I'm just going to have to time out. If I had like one of those weapons like the laser that can shoot through the walls, I could get rid of those, but I didn't bring that with me. Those do quite a bit of damage if you touch them. think we're done here. Now, there's another special level, but at least I get to use my regular ship for it. This shouldn't be too awful. Okay, here we go. I don't know, should I keep this build? I might keep this build. Not the worst build I ever had. What do I have to work with as far as... you know, I don't know if the bombs or missiles are even useful right now, but I feel naked without them. And I have my beloved auto-tracker. Not the most interesting or exciting weapon in the game, but it does what it says on the tin. Taking a slight risk with this because if I were having a homing missiles, I would also be taking a slight risk with that. Because this is, you have to escort something that you can hit by accident, unfortunately, and I would really have loved it if they made that not possible, but they decided to make that a factor. So if you go into this level with a rear gun, or something that shoots around an area, you might just basically lose instantly if you, or say a bunch of your homing missiles chase an enemy that's trying to ram the thing you're escorting, because it'll get hit by the enemy and the missiles then, and then that's nearly an instant mission failed. So I could do without that. Spent nearly every dime pumping this up, so let's see if this gets the job done. If you had something like scatter guns like the Radiator or the JC Superstar pumped up, that would also be a problem there, because you'd be constantly peppering your own target. You're able to release the tank from the beer cube and return to your ship. Now you must get it to the mothership. Be careful, the tank mustn't be destroyed. But the beer automatons won't let you leave just like that. Prevent them from destroying you or the tank. And don't collide with your precious loot. I get the little tank integrity indicator down there to show me how screwed I am if things start going poorly. I think there's some hitchhikers around here too. Let me see if I can sweep up and down to make sure I don't miss any. That's already taken some damage. You have to stop this debris from the tank follows you, but it's too big of a target to really dodge anything. You can sometimes just barely leave it out of the way of an attack, but not often enough to matter. Really gotta stop these guys before they get into the hand. My stuff is, my guns are overheating real fast. So one thing about the pumped up Daisy Cutter is I think if you don't have good heat capacity, I think the Super Killer is usually the best choice. I have one of these right now. Nope. I'm just going to go so that the auto guns are closer to something else to shoot. I mean, I'm trying to compare the tank integrity to mission completed up there, and I'm not too screwed yet. It's the thing to focus on. Well, there was my hitchhiker, at least I know where they are. Try again. I'm gonna try not to let this thing take damage earlier. I think that was tilting me that. So I wasn't paying enough attention. Not too bad. Still close to 100%. I think this stuff isn't just too long to destroy. Like the main range, something like that. Kind of sloppy. At least I got the hitchhiker. We'll be alright. Could have gone better. Now my hole's not doing great. I don't remember there being any health in this area either, so we're just gonna have to win it. I might not be able to stop all the hits on the rear tank from this point. Wow, I've got like a stick of health left. Alright, we can do this. Pull the guns off and then hit this guy real fast. Damn it. Almost. Guy only takes a second to get rid of, but it was just too much. We'll get him next time. Fine. At least I have a little health left. This usually isn't such a struggle for me, but I'm usually using a different loadout. For a little bit more of this, and then we're out of here. Nice. We're now several thousands of kilometers from the enormous object that was the Intergalactic Scientific Laboratory a few weeks ago. This is Dr. Chiefy speaking. We have released the contents of the tank upon the crust 20 hours ago. As we expected, it is able to melt through. We sent several automatic probes, but they were all quickly destroyed by some pretty aggressive organisms. However, we did manage to get some useful information. The organisms inside the crust are so-called macroviruses, a classic mix of proteins and DNA, but the size of a truck. These entities can be easily bioprogrammed through DNA. We believe that, in our case, the viruses were programmed to kidnap their professor and to steal the crime scene in impenetrable crust. We need to investigate more. We need you to enter the crust and collect DNA samples for analysis. Let's face it, I've had worse jobs. I think the scatter gun might be, ooh, this is open now. Black Fist Mortar. You can actually buy the real one and not this stupid thing. I don't think that's really efficient yet, though. Swarm is available. That's a nice little gun, but I don't have the... Do I have the cash? I don't want to go too much into a homing weapons build because of the limitations I discussed earlier. It's not always the best move. I think this is one of those areas where I'm really going to need to get rid of the daisy cutter. I think the heat is just too much of a problem for that one. I'm gonna put my homing missile back. I want that thing back. It's very nice in this area. Missiles are not subject to heat. Your missiles and bombs don't make any heat. The missiles just have a limited rate of fire, and the bombs, they have an ammo meter that when it runs out, you have to wait for it to reload. So I'm not getting the mortar. What am I getting? I'm tempted to slap this thing back in there because I have some pretty good experiences with this. Especially in this area is one of those where you really are getting hammered from all sides constantly. So that can be a handy thing to have. And the auto tracker. And I might need some bombs in places. Haven't unlocked any more ships yet, though. Like that's it for that's it for the loadout. Let's get into the mission. There's also a secret level to be unlocked around here somewhere, but I think it's not till about 80% through. You can see what I mean by swarms of stuff that would like freaking everywhere. I have to collect 10 of these DNA samples before I reach a certain point, or else it's going to be a mission failure. It's not really that hard, though. There's way more than 10 of them around here. You have to really be doing very badly to miss that many that you can fail in that way. Unless you're just getting so hammered that you can't maneuver at all. Build up quite a bit of heat. The heat takes longer to come back on this one than it did on the food truck. See, there are a few areas here where they kind of trap you with stuff that you like. If you can't shoot down or backwards, it's a problem. Or at least it cuts off an easy route. You have to take a much more dangerous route. I think there's health up here. No. I thought there was health, but sometimes it despawns if you scroll a certain way. There was a health up there at some point, but I missed it. Just have to do it out. We're almost done with the DNA fragments already. We're not even trying that hard for those, so there's the last one. Okay, that's done. Another place where I always remember from that exact point in the music where it leaves is where this annoying attack comes in. I still recognize some ambushes that way, just because the background music at a certain point. Let's see if I can plow this for extra points. These red guys explode and leave little plasma bullets there, so you can shoot those before they hit you. There's some health. I can test this guy. Nice thing about the radiator is that it also hits the pitch ground targets for you pretty well. It's good for strafing ground targets and ceiling targets. Sometimes you have both at once. I could pick this up in points. I already got 100%. There are these little, like, spider gremlins here who leave, they build walls in front of you. If you can shoot them before they do that, it's great, but it's not always feasible. So having the extra firepower to tunnel through that is, cool the guns a little bit. Alright. Yeah, try not to take that entire attack in the face. Those little blue plasma balls that the pink things are shooting are one of the most annoying and damaging attacks in the game. And they don't blend in too much on this background, but unfortunately there are other backgrounds in the game where, you know, you really need to keep your eyes peeled for them. Because there's something like sky blue in the background and like the little like cyan plasma balls are hitting it. That's another common complaint about this is the visual clutter. I see that as being part of the difficulty. I know there's some like bullet hell games where just everything is high contrast and high visibility all the time because that's like picking out the shots from the background is not supposed to be part of the difficulty, but I kind of like that there's that sort of camouflage element that you have to be paying attention to catch things that like almost blend in. I actually find that kind of interesting. You know, a lot of people just find that kind of annoying. This is up here in this like smoke up by the ceiling. I shoot these light fixtures. That's my secret level. Third secret level unlocked. I haven't missed any yet. That was really, I think, the last missable one. The other one is so easy to get that I don't even really think that's going to be on the lava planet, and that's not going to be, that takes you to a secret level where you can unlock an extra ship. Firepower that's ground targets that don't work that much. Alright then. Oh, I missed a secret somehow. Oh, I remember which one I missed. It's not a big deal. It's just another rubber ducky. Temporary version of this, Sunray Bozotron. the secret level is going to be a whole other problem here. Let's see what we can do with it. It's going to be a little rough. And for a bumpy ride here. What else should I upgrade here? Do I have any... Kinda close to getting the space card. Don't know if it's worth it yet. Maybe after this level I'll consider it. I don't know how much you get for secret levels though. Usually not much because they don't want to distribute. They don't want to disrupt the loot flow that much that you have too much stuff too early. I think the slowdown can make it. Let's give it a shot. I think another forward firepower would be more as useful maybe as the radiator here, except that there's still enough angle attacks that I'm like more comfortable having it covering my 6. Gods. Try to ignore those stupid things on the ceiling because it's not worth it. Because they can't chase me, so... Oh, for crying out loud. Right at the finish line, too. You've got to be kidding me. Those bulbs, by the way, on the floors and ceilings that I was like talking about avoiding, those are the only things I think that count as ground targets in this mission. So if you're trying to cheese the ground target percentage to get those medals I talked about earlier, this is a level where you can do that. Actually, I should have checked that before I came in here. It can actually be difficult to get that on purpose on most levels after a certain point because you're deliberate. Like you are basically, you're going to destroy almost all the ground targets by accident just by overspray. Get that guy alive. Why do I keep walking into those guys? That was... Maybe I'll just ignore that. I don't care that much about the medals right now. I already know I'm not getting 100% medals this run because of, maybe on the next loop if I decide to continue to loop this. Because I already am definitely not getting the one for finishing the mission without dying, or for finishing the campaign without dying. So, don't get that one yet. Also, you can't get most of the ones that require grinding. You can't get them in one run anyway. Because you have to grind more enemies than there are in the entire campaign. So they expect you to do loops if you want to get all of the medals. I think it takes at least about 3 or 4 loops to get all of them. Not too bad. We've decoded the DNA, and now it's obvious who created those macroviruses for Zox. Only one race is so advanced and so twisted that their engineers can't resist spreading vulgar jokes and comments throughout the whole DNA code. But the mutants from the Aaron Pan's planetary system are not an enemy our fighters can face now. We need a large-scale upgrade. There is a technology, a ship, which allows a single fighter to face the whole army. It is so destructive that it is sealed in the most secure storage complex in the universe, the Federal Experimental Lab, where all the other technologies capable of world destruction are locked tight. There's no way we can get official permission to get the ship, but we should try to get it on our own. So this is the jetpack mission where I have to break in and steal a ship unlock. Let me see, do I have anything? Wow, I'm still not that thrilled with my loadout possibilities here. Alright. Ditch some of these things. Bombs and missiles. I think I'm going to end up going with the Daisy Cutter again. I can check medals from here. Yeah, see, if I was on that level, that level had exactly 8 ground targets, so if I was precise and if I got 4 or 5 of them, I could have gotten the 50% of ground targets destroyed medal if I wanted to repeat that until I cheesed that perfectly. I don't care that much right now. It's always the second move to do stuff like that. I'll go with this again. Daisy Cutter and Super Killer. There we go. Together they fight crime. Let's go. I'm just gonna save just in case. I can't remember if I saved or not. On the jetpack again. FedEx Lab stores ultimate guns, time machines, and other gadgets that are so dangerous that these bunkers have to have the most advanced defense system ever created. Usually there's no chance of stealing anything from there, but today a weird and inexplicable coincidence will probably help me to get in. A few days ago, some very powerful ship had attacked the complex. She appeared out of nowhere, blasted its way through half the complex, and disappeared like vapor. No one is sure now whether it had vanished by will or if it were destroyed by the defense system. What is more important for us is that the fact that the assault has seriously damaged the complex and temporarily lowered the security level. We have a unique chance to gather some crumbs before the androids put the station back in shape. There's still no chance of passing the long-range defense systems with a regular fighter, but something smaller can probably be teleported inside and drag the ship away with a tractor beam without getting too much attention. Mission objective: destroy the 3 green marked power field generators to free the ship. Do not touch white power field, it will kill you. Drag the ship out, it mustn't be destroyed. Alright. Here we go. Press any key to begin. This, by the way, is the 19th level of the game, and remember how I said you want to get the Bounty Hunter license before level 20? Well, after this, when I finish this mission and get the ship unlocked, that's the time that you should buy the Bounty Hunter license. You have to buy it by then to make sure that you don't miss any of the galactic villains if you try to capture them all. That's also another medal and another achievement. The police service medal. And the Bounty Hunter achievement you get for capturing all of, I think there's 9 galactic villains. But if you capture them all in the same run, in the same campaign, get that. There are a few dicey situations here, but there's nothing that's so awful that you... Like, there are no ambushes in this that are so bad that you absolutely leave the area. Guns or, like, the side shots, spread guns, or homing missiles, or anything like that. They can be helpful in a few places, But even this thing can be cheesed like that, for example, and that's the most protected one. So as long as you have a couple of good forward guns, you should be fine. Now the ship is going to start following me, and it's going to take damage from everything that it rams into. So I have to be careful how I maneuver, because if I go the wrong way, I could lead this thing into a wall and it'll just get crushed instantly. And that's a mission failed. I have to dodge this guy a little bit. I don't want to ram him into the ceiling. Get rid of these mines. Tunnel a path out of this garbage over here. Get out of here without having to shoot more bricks, that's the question. Because I don't think I shot enough bricks. Wait. Alright, here we go. I'm at about half health right now, but the ship isn't doing too bad. Just try not to get too many more missiles before I make my escape. We're almost out of here. Right. Nice. Whew. We're getting there. Alright, should have like maybe an hour or two to go, depending on... I've been taking this kind of slow in a way, but we're on our way to the planet of the evil mutants. We got a distress call we couldn't ignore. Maybe this is a good opportunity to try the new ship and what our mechanics were able to get out of her. I'm Captain Laszlo of Plop Resistance Movement. Our planet Plop Alpha has been taken by pirates. Strong fleets of about 1,000 vessels of all sizes entered our orbit 3 weeks ago. We cannot push out such a superior force, both in number and technology. Help us, anyone. I was on my way to the hangar when I met the professor's daughter. She looked slightly upset. Please, hurry up, mister. Your team is spending a lot of time cleansing this part of the galaxy from the pirate infection, but how is it actually linked to your mission to find my father? Colonel Trippleman keeps me informed about the process of the investigation, but it seems like you are not getting any closer. Game tip. Next is a long ground mission, so get your anti-ground devices. Boss in the end really sucks if you do not have a strong rear gun. Buy the weapon set controller device to switch between two weapon layouts, because you will use your rear gun effectively until the end duel. Alright, I remember this mission now. I got it. Now, as promised, I need the bounty hunter license. I'm buying that now. Just making sure I have all the devices. That's... yeah, got pretty much everything I need here. Runtime's maxed out. I could go for rotary cage, but I don't know how useful it is, like right this second. I know I'm going to need serious firepower a couple of missions from now, and I might actually need that extra, like, $250,000 or so. What do I have? Still don't have the hammerhead unlocked. I really want to get that done. Might ditch this for now, put this down here. This is still my best missile option. You should try the other missiles now and then, like right now, just to get this run at a reasonable amount of time. Ooh, Cauldron's unlocked. Good. This is a little more punch than the Baker. I like the Baker, but this is a little tougher. This makes like a nice shockwave that sort of instantly plows through anything on the ground and it ignores. The shockwave ignores obstacles. So it'd be good for, like, dropping them on boss ships and blowing their turrets off, stuff like that. If I go with auto track and... I don't know, is radiator good, or should I go with something else for this mission? I don't think I've ever used the Skywalker Hypergun, but I don't know if I have enough heat capacity to make that useful. Let me see what I got here. I might. I feel bad for, like, never using this thing. Even though it's like, the heat is a little, but, I mean, the heating on my other weapons is like nearly non-existent, so it should balance out more or less. Actually, I like to scatter this into ground targets, so let me put this up here. Alright. Let's see what we can do. But what about the... oh yeah, the new ship I unlocked. If I sink all this money into this right now, I'm going to have really pitiful guns on it. It is a nice ship, but it's too early to do that, in my opinion. I'd rather have maxed out guns on a, like, pretty good ship than, like, you know, than, like, not upgraded guns on, like, on a amazing ship, so... And if you're not going to buy the extra gadgets like the power shield, like I haven't even bought all the gadgets that are available on this one yet. Although I think it's mostly the same for the next ship for a while. But, oh, I can get that. I don't know why I thought I couldn't. Alright. Get going. Oh, and there's a secret weapon here. I'll make sure I collect it. Ooh, that does some pretty damage. Just gonna need to do it in short bursts, though. That is the Skywalker Hypergun. It's impossible even for a computer. So the thing I don't like about this is that I'm instantly overheating, and then my missiles also stop firing even though they don't require heat. That's a little bit of a problem. Also, that cold room is probably not my best investment right now. I really need to ship in better cooling for this gun. Yeah, this could turn out to be a problem. It is doing a super amount of damage when I actually get it working. Oh, this is going to be fun. I can hack the radio station. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to stop the constant suppressive fire and get used to the short control bursts here, because that's all my heating is gonna handle. Fortunately, most of these things don't stand up to that very long if I actually hit them. I think when I get to the boss, I might be in some trouble. We'll see how that goes. I still have the auto track gun. I might be able to choose him to death. Oh no, why'd I do that? I don't want to do any part of this over. I think there's a boss ship coming. Oh, see that one with the little... These guys with the little green targets on them? Those are the pirates. Those are like the wanted pirates. You get a bonus for... They'll get 5 times score for them. 5 times score multiplier because I have the bounty hunter license now. And on top of that, you get the galactic villains. Oh, health, health, health. I need health. Get away from my health. Oof. Oof. It's getting spicy. Getting spicy.